and welcome to another episode of Pop Fix, your weekly fix to pop culture news and gossip. I'm Marnie Dixit, and I'm joined, as always, in isolation, in lockdown, from afar, by the lovely Sama Rose.
Hello.
And Steph Nuzzo.
Ciao ragazzi.
Oh, why you talk like that?
I'm just a bit cocky right now because Italy actually won the Euros. I'm not sure if you guys know. It's a little bit of news, current events.
So
I wonder if we've just had a few listeners just hit like stop and unsubscribe.
Definitely. I await your trolling messages. It's
so it didn't go home. It went to Rome.
Yeah, it went to a casa, people.
A casa. Oh, damn. I was trying to figure out what that meant.
Yeah, that means at home.
Oh.
Yeah, dolly.
I don't know things. Anyway, here are the things I do know about. Coming up, there is a lot of reality TV gossip, plus A-list celebs getting in trouble with the law. Is It Worth It is back, and heaps more. So let's get into your Pop Fix, where we fill you in on everything that has happened in the entertainment world this week.
Okay, so you both probably know that Sacha Baron Cohen and Natalie Portman moved to Sydney. I don't even know when. Maybe last year when the peak of all of this was happening.
Yeah.
I think
all of this being COVID.
Do we think that Natalie Portman is going to stay here? Because hasn't her film ended, and didn't her husband's film end as well?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I feel
Maybe
like
they
she's
just like it
stuck
here.
around.
I wouldn't be mad if she stayed.
Yeah.
You're a Natalie fan, I
am.
Even after this story, I'm gonna share. Okay. So last week they were both spotted on a boat out in Palm Beach, which is an affluent suburb just outside of Sydney. I think about an hour outside of Sydney. And for people who, I don't know, are living under a rock, Sydney and Greater New South Wales is in lockdown and has been for... This is news to Marnie. She just stays inside anyways. Well, it's been 3 weeks now. It feels like a long, long time, and there's too many restrictions to list. So... police have actually been doling out fines. It's quite serious, and people should be taking this seriously. A lot of people haven't been. Over 100 people have had fines. I think reported today it was 167 people who have been caught breaking COVID restrictions. And so unsurprisingly, when Sacha Baron Cohen and Natalie Portman were spotted on their boat...
they were with their partners, or were they just solo?
I believe at least Natalie had her husband there. I don't know if Isla Fisher was there.
I think Isla Fisher is working on a Stan series at the moment with Josh Gad.
I've heard about that project.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe she was too busy working, and Sash was like, I need some friends to hang out with.
Come on, maybe.
Call up my old
maybe
mate.
it's just
Yeah.
a bit bored. I mean, look, if I had a boat to escape staying inside these four walls day in, day out, I would probably do the same.
But it's working out. It is taking some effort for me to
It's
get all
outdoor
of this.
recreation.
Yeah.
But, the police had to investigate these two to see if what they were doing was, compliant with public health orders. So on Friday, it was confirmed by a police spokesperson that the outing was compliant with Sydney's restrictions. The spokesperson said, police have reviewed the information and confirmed the activity, and the number of people in the group complied with the public health orders in force at that time. There will be no further police action taken. And at that time, it does turn out that they were absolutely following the rules, because restrictions last Monday allowed for people to have outdoor recreation in groups of up to 10 people.
It's so funny because I would never think of outdoor recreation to mean getting on a boat. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it's probably totally fine because they're out in the open, and someone was telling me that there hasn't really been any community transmission out in the open.
Yeah, I've read that as well.
It's like, it's probably the best thing you could do, right?
Yeah.
Get out on a boat.
If golf is allowed, I think boating is allowed.
Yeah, true.
Golf
true.
is allowed?
Apparently.
Good Lord. But, I just think of a boat in those confined spaces, like, I don't know the terms, but hull, cockpit, these are all the things I can think of, and you have to socially distance, right, within those spaces. So
I'm sure
maybe
they are
were.
very much vaccinated.
Oh, good point.
I do
good
too.
point.
And also, I would guess there's only 3 of them on the boat, and I don't think they went out on a dinghy. Like, I'm sure it
Yeah.
was large enough.
True. Didn't think about that, actually. I haven't seen many photos of the boat in question. But even though it was ruled that these three were compliant, it did not stop the internet from criticizing them. BBC News journalist Francis Mao took to Twitter and said, "So nice that Hollywood celebs get to enjoy Sydney Harbour during lockdown. Had no idea Natalie Portman and Sacha Baron Cohen were from one household. Meanwhile, police deploy 100 more officers to southwest Sydney to ensure compliance with rules." So Mao is obviously referring to the fact that Gladys Berejiklian, our Premier Everyday, was coming out saying, I know you miss your parents, but you can't go and mix with, different households, even if they're family. So I think Mao does have a good point there.
Yeah.
But what do you two think? Are people being too harsh, or is it justified to say, oi, celebrities, don't go on your luxury boats right now, we're in a pandemic?
Yeah, I was almost disappointed when I saw that police said that they had done nothing wrong, because I was ready to be like, yeah, stupid, beautiful, rich people, how dare you? But then when they'd done nothing wrong, I was like, oh, okay, goddamn, there's nothing to be angry about.
Yeah.
That was
then
my
at
journey.
the same time, I'm kind of like, if they were outside on a boat, what is the difference between that and all the PTs who have been taking, group fitness classes or personal training sessions, like getting properly up in people's grills, like doing boxing and stuff? What's the difference between that and hanging out on a boat in the outdoors, where, as we mentioned, not much community transmission, if any, has occurred? And I don't know, the changing rules are very confusing. And what that tweet was talking about, that didn't happen until later last week, I believe. And if this happened on Monday, that wasn't even a thing. I get what you're saying. Like, there is a big difference in how people are being treated. But I guess if you have a boat, you can get out on that boat. But now you actually wouldn't be able to go out as they did, because that is more than one household kind of thing.
So the rule is now only if you can exercise outdoors with one person that's not from your household. Is that correct?
That's true. So actually, they could be doing it
if that's considered exercise and not recreation. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just remember what Gladys says. Use common sense.
Are they sailing? Sailing is a sport.
It is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're sailing, but yeah, that was my thought process journey.
Yeah, mine was very much the same. I feel like I was so ready, because I've been mad at a lot of celebrities throughout this whole process. But no, it does seem pretty innocent on reflection. I do think, though, that the situation in a lot of suburbs in Sydney and the southwest specifically has been escalated to a level that doesn't need to be. And like, I've seen videos of, I don't know, like 15 police cars in a street, and I don't see why that needs to happen. And that certainly wasn't the case in the beaches when everybody was causing the drama to begin with. Yeah, I find it really weird, because this is my first lockdown in Australia.
Oh, true.
And the rules are different here. And so, like, when we went into lockdown in New York, it was just, you cannot leave unless it's for emergency, reasons like health, food, and you could go outside to exercise. I can't say I know for sure what the rules were about essential, like, caring for people. I would assume there'd be some kind of compassionate reasoning around that. But there was no, like, you can go visit your boyfriend. Like, you can...
I know. Yeah.
That was not a thing. Like, I had friends who lived by themselves in closed off apartments, and they did that for months alone.
Yeah, that's shocking.
Oh, that's rough.
And I'm also kind of like, because I'm doing this on my own this time around, and I'm like, if Kieran was in Sydney and lived somewhere else, I could see him, but I couldn't go see a friend.
No, yeah.
Even though I'm not going to be like kissing a friend like that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be all up in someone's grill.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a bit like, if I could do anything, I don't know, see my sisters or something. I don't know.
I know. I miss, like, my sister, like you, like, we all have siblings here in Sydney,
Yeah.
and they're so close but so far, and it's so
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah. I just find it inconsistent and frustrating. I don't like that it's also kind of just been rolled out in stages where people can't keep up. I just think it needs to be one level of rules, do it, shut it down, get it under control.
You might remember a little while ago we spoke about Hilaria Baldwin, Alec Baldwin's wife, who was accused of pretending to be from Spain, despite actually being born and raised in Boston by American parents. Well, now the yoga instructor has come out on Instagram describing her cultural background as multi and fluid.
Oh, all right.
When you are multi, it can feel hard to belong, she wrote. You are constantly going back and forth trying to be more this or more that. You feel you have to explain why you are the way you are, trying to fit into a world of labels when there might not be one that perfectly defines you. You will never quite fit in because the other parts of you shape and influence all your parts. We need to normalize the fact that we are all unique. Our culture, languages, sexual orientations, religions, political beliefs are allowed to be fluid. That was in caps lock. No two of us are completely alike. And I'm sorry, but can we really say that being culturally fluid is a thing?
No.
I don't know
Absolutely
why
not.
she's using that term.
That doesn't exist. That's not
She
real.
must have heard it one day and been like, oh, that is it. That is what is the word to describe me.
Today I'm
I
a little
wonder
bit
if
Latin, tomorrow. It's not what it is.
I wonder if she's heard, like, sexuality is fluid, gender is fluid, so it's in her zeitgeist, so she's like, this is how I best describe it. I think she has if you use the term multicultural, or if there's third culture kids, there's people who grow up surrounded and immersed in different cultures, so she absolutely has a point that it's, identity can be difficult, and I think we can all really identify with that, with our backgrounds. But the thing about her is that she crossed a line by pretending to be Spanish for so long.
It's so weird.
And, like,
So long. And convincing her husband that she was Spanish as well. And having all this, like, Spanish stuff incorporated in their wedding and everything.
And her name's Hillary. Sorry, that's rude.
Well, she limited comments on the post, like, unsurprisingly, so that only, like, fawning fans could comment. But, of course, people on Twitter had feelings. So, one person wrote, "You are still not Spanish, Hilaria Baldwin. Just admit you spent time in Spain and were born in the US." Another said, "Vacationing in a foreign land where your parents bought property and faking an accent from there does not make you multicultural or fluid. Respect those of us who actually have immigrated here and have struggled to balance and maintain our heritage. Hilaria." That was in quotation marks. A third wrote, wait. "My dad's from Boston. I spent my summers there. Why didn't anyone tell me that I was Spanish?" Hilaria Baldwin, lead the way, my fluid grift. Someone also added, "Stop trying to make cultural fluidity a thing. You're literally stealing from cultures that are not yours. That's cultural appropriation, babe." Another said, "So excited, guys. Just told my boss that I'll be needing to take siestas this afternoon because I woke up feeling culturally fluid like Hilaria. I picked Spanish and Chinese cultures for today." These two might be my favourites. Hilaria Baldwin is the best thing to ever happen to Gwyneth Paltrow's likability.
Oh my god.
And then, "I'm multilingual." And then a little asterisk. And then the asterisk is, "I follow Hilaria Baldwin on Instagram."
Oh my god.
Oh, man.
Oh, God. When is she going to understand that she's not Spanish, though?
I don't think she will ever not feel Spanish, though, or I don't know. I mean, I
And
think...
doesn't Alec find it weird?
I guess not, right?
He just goes along with it.
Yeah, maybe he sees her point of view. I'm not sure. But I wanted to take, like, a side note and point out this other... I use celebrity, but they're like an influencer. Recently, their name's Ollie London. Have you heard of them?
Oh, I think I know where this is going. I don't know
Yes.
their name, but I think I know.
Well, they are... Okay, I should say that they've changed their name to Jimin. So they are
I do know this story.
Were a British influencer. They have received 18 surgeries to look like BTS star Jimin. They released a video on YouTube in which they said they underwent racial transitional surgery because they identify as Korean.
Oh my god.
In their video,
those
they
words
said,
should not be used.
Yeah. I mean, and in their video they said, I know a lot of people don't understand me, but I do identify as Korean and I do look Korean. I do feel Korean. That's just my culture. That's my home country. That's exactly how I look now. I should also point out that in 2020, London got married to a cardboard cutout of the real Jimin in Las Vegas. So
Wait. They said that's my home country?
Yeah, and they're born in. Maybe they lived there, but they were born in the UK, and I'm saying they because they are non-binary as well. I'll point that out.
Oh my god, that's a new level.
But do you think this is going to happen like more and more?
I think so. Just by talking about these two people, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if people have the audacity, they will do whatever. I
love that.
That's the only thing I can think to say right now. This story is so fucking weird to me.
And also, who is like the surgeon involved in that story that is saying, yeah, sure.
I'll do this.
Yeah,
for you.
surely that should just like not be allowed.
That should be like part of like the doctor's like code to not do that.
But it's also just incorrect. Like, and it also invalidates people's genuine fluid experiences, right? So like you spoke about earlier, like gender fluidity and in sexuality as well. Like that is something that people have spent such a long time fighting to like have that be recognized, and it's still not at a level that it should be, and it's where people are still learning about it, and now you just kind of take those concepts and apply it to something that just it's different. Absolutely not applicable. It doesn't work.
Because, they're like wealthy and like all that kind of stuff. Like they can just say it and have, as you say, the audacity to think that that's okay.
And the other thing that she's doing is she's pointing out things that people who have grown up in different cultures or, you know, may not look like the place they're in or whatever, the people that the place they're in. And she's pointing out that people have to explain themselves over and over again. And I've had to do that as well growing up where I did. And it's not, I don't know why she's acting like it's something that she's like had to be forced to go through. Like she, it's just mind-boggling.
So Sopranos fans like me were treated to a nice.
And me.
Woohoo!
Maybe one day me.
Oh, money! You never
I feel like that's a show that I need
always
to
on the
wait.
same page.
I need to wait for Kieran for that one. That's like a big deal. I can't just watch that, you know.
True.
Yeah, I guess.
Don't you think? It's like
I don't like waiting.
It's something
for people.
you watch with people.
You don't like watching with people?
Things like that. I will smash through it, and I don't want to wait for people.
Oh,
how long does it take to watch the whole Sopranos?
Oh,
how many
it's
seasons?
Long. What is there? Like,
is it 6?
I think so.
6 seasons.
Yeah, yeah, and they're like hour-long episodes. It's not like ridiculous, you know.
It's pretty long,
but it's a while, yeah. And it's also
ridiculous,
involved
but it's
content.
Chunk of time.
You're not just. It's not like Schitt's Creek.
Yeah.
Which is delightful.
Heavy stuff.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so fans of the show were treated to a nice little gift earlier this month in the form of a sneak peek at the upcoming prequel to the series, a feature film named The Many Saints of Newark. Have either of you seen the clip, by the way?
Yes.
No, actually, which is bizarre. And I thought it was a TV series. It's only a movie?
It's a movie. I actually...
one series.
Well, yeah, I know what you mean, but I think that making it a film is really interesting because, you know, I read an article, I think it was the Sydney Morning Herald, and this is me just going off my notes, by the way, so I'm going to just try to remember this correctly. But it was saying, like, bringing The Sopranos onto the big screen means that, like, you know, you've got the likes of, like, Tony Soprano up against, like, huge, iconic gangster films like The Godfather, and Goodfellas.
True.
And because, you know, The Sopranos has such a reputation and those characters are so well loved, like, bringing it up to that level, it's just kind of like... I don't know. It almost raises the bar. It's like a whole nother world for them to kind of enter into. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's a good perspective.
Anyway, for people who haven't seen the trailer, it genuinely sent chills down my spine.
I knew you were going to say that.
Really? Yeah. I'm such a nerd, but I have a real love for this show. You know, I don't know, just like hearing the names and...
Yeah.
Even just, especially when the intro music plays, you know, that track that woke up this morning, that comes into it at the very end. And I don't know, it was a religious experience for me.
I think also when the star of the show is gone,
yeah,
it does feel like, I know what you mean. Like watching the trailer, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know any of the story.
And the fact that the real life
Yeah.
actor's son is playing him, it's just beautiful when you think of it that way.
Yeah, and I'll go into this a little bit later, but just also the you know, the story around that is quite deep and beautiful as well. So I don't know, there's a lot of points to this that really have captured my attention. So the film, The Many Saints of Newark, it's going to explore the younger days of Tony Soprano, who is the lead in The Sopranos, if you haven't seen the show, and you should. Tony Soprano in the series was played by the phenomenal James Gandolfini. And so the film looks like it's going to give us a closer look at his pretty messed up family life and the beginnings of his days as a New York gangster. Now, being such a long-awaited addition to the Sopranos universe, it's pretty unsurprising that the cast is, you know, fairly impressive. So you got Vera Farmiga, who's going to play Tony's mother, Livia
She
Soprano.
looks different.
Yeah, they've given her a fake nose, yeah, because it matches the character. Like, as soon as you see her, you recognise, Ray Liotta's going to be in it. I don't know what his character is, but I love that he's going to be in it. You've got Corey Stoll from House of Cards, who I really quite like as well, and even Leslie Odom Jr. from Hamilton. He's going to appear in the film as well, so it's going to be a pretty stacked cast. But as we mentioned earlier, the casting choice that's getting the most attention is Michael Gandolfini, and that's the son of the late James Gandolfini. He's taken on the role of his father's younger self, and it's quite an eerie thing to see because the resemblance is naturally pretty clear. I think as soon as you see it, without even knowing that Michael is an actor, people are like, is that his son? You can just you can tell almost instantly. But yeah, Deborah Lynn, who is Michael's stepmother and James's widow, spoke to the New York Post about it, and she was saying it was almost surreal to see Michael in the trailer. I know it took a lot of courage for him to take the role. It was very emotional, but the whole families are so proud of him. His father would be very proud. And to make the whole thing even more touching and bittersweet, really, Page Six reported that Michael actually turned to acting as a way to help process the grief of his father's passing back in 2013.
Because he would have been very young, right? Like
he was 14.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was with him.
Really? I honestly didn't realise it was that long ago.
Yeah, I know.
When I read that it was 2013, I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it feels recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were on holiday, I think, in Rome together. So.
Oh, shit. That's awful.
Yeah, it was really sad. But, yeah, like, interestingly, perhaps not surprisingly though, Michael never actually watched The Sopranos until he auditioned for the role. He's 22 now, but growing up, James, his dad, didn't want his son to see the series because there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of anger, there's just like a lot of bad behavior going on. So like he only first watched it in the lead up to auditioning to this, which I find really interesting. Going into it though, he used hours of recordings of monologues. I think in particular the scenes where Tony is in therapy, and
it's just so like heartbreaking to think that this man is listening to his deceased father in his ears hours upon hours, and then just to think about the pressure he must have on his shoulders as well to do well in this role. Like, good on him for going for it. I don't think a lot of people would, because it's a lot of pressure. It's a bit painful to go through as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think like it's a huge project to take on, but I don't know, from what I've seen it looks like it's going to be really good. I don't know, like,
and they wouldn't have hired him surely if
he had to audition.
Exactly, like if he wasn't the right person, like it was something he was born to do. You know?
And I heard that, according to an interview with Michael said that James never wanted Michael to be an actor, and I was like, oh, I wonder what he wanted him to be. Turns out he said, don't be an actor, be a director, that's where the power is. I was like, oh, okay. So he didn't want him to go be a doctor or anything. He was like, follow in the footsteps somewhat.
Yeah. It's like in The Sopranos, Tony doesn't want his son to be a gangster.
So true.
It's not that similar, but I'm just... Anyway, do you guys think it's going to live up to their expectations? What are your feelings?
I reckon it will. I reckon he's going to be amazing, even though I've not seen any of it. I'll watch it. I will watch it for you guys.
You have to.
Please,
but
please do.
I do think that like the trailer looked really great, and I think that like yes, there will be pressure for him to be, to live up to the expectations, but I think that he'll probably end up blowing the expectations out of the water. Alrighty, we'll be back in just a moment for Is It Worth It and Reality Roundup. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We're at PopFix Podcast, or we would love to have you in our Facebook group, which you can find if you search the same thing. Now, if you are enjoying the show, we would very, very much appreciate it if you would share it to your Instagram stories. That is one way to help out the show, spread the word, show your friends what you're listening to. And we would love you forever if you did that. So thank you so much in advance. You're listening to Pop Fix, and it's time for Is It Worth It? And Sama, you watched Gossip Girl.
Oh yes, not the original,
the
reboot. So, disclaimer: I never saw the original.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So yeah, I'll get into why later. But
did you ever watch the OC? I can't remember. You didn't.
No.
Okay.
There was a lot of those shows that I watched.
Those two were so closely linked. It was like the OC finished and then Gossip Girl started.
I never got into Gossip Girl either.
Really? Because it's the same creator. That's why I'm saying they're so closely linked. So
well, there you go.
Fans of one would, you know what I mean?
And
it was that time where one of them ended and the next one started.
It's so interesting.
Wow.
I watched the OC and then I tried Gossip Girl and I hated it, and I just didn't.
You hated it?
I didn't
Why
get
did
into
you?
it. I just found them annoying. I was like, she's sleeping with her best friend's boyfriend or like whatever. I'm like, they're awful. I hate them. And then I didn't watch it anymore.
You were wise. I was like, oh, drama.
Like, give me more.
And also, I just love New York. So I was like, similarly to Steph, like you just see a lot of the amazing city.
Yeah.
And the fashion was great. Let's be honest. Aesthetically pleasing.
It was aesthetically pleasing.
And similar, this reboot, quite aesthetically pleasing. But from what I know about the original is that there's a whole build up to who Gossip Girl is.
And then I stopped watching at some point, I should say, and then the ending was stupid.
Right. Well, I don't have feelings because I don't know much about that. But what I've seen, straight away in the reboot, you know who Gossip Girl is, because it turns out it's a small group, and this is not a spoiler, this is like straight away. It's a small group of creepy, pathetic teachers who want to ruin the lives of this popular group to get vengeance for their colleague who got fired for not giving one of the popular girls an A. I don't know if that is a spoiler, actually. Maybe it is.
Oh my god!
If
no
it
one
is,
can see my
I
face,
don't apologize.
I am shooketh. What the fuck?
Those teachers are losers.
They're losers, and you know what? Those teachers are probably our age.
Yeah, I know. God, they
I
are.
think they are. They look pretty much the same age as these other actors who are playing 16-year-olds. I'm just going to say that.
Oh my god. Okay, I think I want to watch the first episode just so I can see what the vibe is there. No?
Well,
I won't. Should I not bother?
I'm going to say don't bother. I'm going to get into why. Okay, so the show centers on Julian, who is clearly the alpha in her group because one of her friends' only role is to be her stylist, and her other friend's only role is to be her photographer so she can post on Instagram because she's an influencer.
Sad little world. God, I'm so
Yes.
glad we grew up when we did.
Yeah, and without, mega millions and stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
I could take the millions. It's the Instagram bit I don't want.
But the whole thing about Julian is, of course, she can't be that bad because she's dating this super nice, super rich, but socialist heartthrob. Cannot remember his name at the moment. Don't know if they ever said his name. I don't know if I paid that much attention. But of course, Julian also has another layer to her. She has a tragic past. Her mother left her father, I think. I don't actually know what happened there, but her mother definitely had another kid with someone else when Julian was 2. And she named this kid Zoya. And Julian and Zoya's mother passed away, I think.
Zoya the Destroyer.
Zoya the Destroyer.
It's from Glow, isn't it? No, don't worry. Maybe it's wrong.
Maybe that does sound familiar. But also, I've not watched a lot of
could
Glow.
be.
Lol. Oh, what do I watch? The OC, Gossip Girl, and Friends. That is all I seem to watch, apparently.
Fulfills your needs.
Sorry.
But Zoya and Julian's fathers hate each other. I don't know why. I can't remember.
Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they had one baby and then 2 years later she had another baby with someone else.
Yeah, but also get over it. Okay? She's happy. Let her be happy. But they hate each other to the point where they...
Sorry.
Yeah, true. But they kept Julian and Zoya away from each other. Like, they hated each other that much that they didn't want these siblings to grow
This is
up.
like One Tree Hill.
Oh my god, is it? That's another show.
Marnie, there's
watch.
a real theme to the shows you like.
I mean, I don't watch them now. I watch them as a young person.
Still a young person.
Yeah.
As a younger person.
Oh. Well,
Teenage drama. Love it.
well, there's going to be a lot of drama in the show, I can tell already, and quite predictable drama. So these two connected over social media because they never got to meet each other. And then they conducted this zany plan to, like, not really know each other and not really like each other, because it turns out Zoya's on full scholarship to Julian's mega rich school. And Julian's telling her friends that, just casually, my younger sister's coming to the school now. We don't like each other. But it turns out they're like best friends and they have matching tattoos. I don't get it. I don't get that plan at all.
A 14-year-old and a 16-year-old have matching tattoos.
Yes. Yeah.
This is...
Oh, and the 16-year-olds are going to cocktail parties, by the way, and having
of
sex in a
course.
storeroom.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know what other
As you
people
do.
did at school, but I didn't do those things.
No.
You did it?
I went to the movies.
I lived in Hobart. There was nothing to do but go to the cinema.
Oh. Okay. So, back to these creepy teachers. They decide to target Julian and pin her against her sister Zoya, which is totally fucked up because these are two long-lost sisters who have a good relationship. And then, predictably, Julian's boyfriend's like, oh, you're an awful person, and then sets his eyes on Zoya. Again, not a spoiler, you see that coming from a mile away, let's be honest. And Zoya's 14, which is a whole other creepy thing. Anyways, I never saw the original Gossip Girl because I thought it would be trash. And if it's anything like this reboot, I was probably right.
I don't know what to say.
No offense.
Look, I am going to be honest. I have heard only bad things. So I probably actually won't watch it. Although sometimes, curiosity gets the better of me. So
And you watched the original.
I watched the original. But
the original was good in your opinion?
To a point.
To a point.
I stopped watching partway through. I just think, this is what I was saying to my older sister, because she's the first person who told me that it was shit. I think we're too old now.
Yeah.
I don't know if I care about teenage drama. And, I'm just getting annoyed hearing about, a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old getting tattoos. I'm like, what the fuck? What are you doing?
Go
home.
Parties.
Do your homework. Don't you have a report due on Monday?
No, because they can fire the teachers if they don't get an A on their homework.
Man,
Remember?
I think I know why the teachers are doing what they're doing. And maybe I relate to the teachers a bit more.
I think you do.
Maybe I would watch it just to see how crazy the teachers are. Although I do think that it's just but our friend got fired. And so now we're Gossip Girl. I think that's really stupid.
They want to take the power back, Marnie.
Yeah.
They're screw the rich, entitled brats.
I mean,
we're going to be Gossip Girl.
I don't think that they would be getting paid too shabbily at a private school.
Well, one line in the show was private school teachers get paid less than public school teachers, which no, that is incorrect.
I mean, I know teachers, and I don't think that's right.
I think there was another thing where they were like, you know how you can take a photo without your password on your phone? You can also send it to people without a password. I'm like, that's not true either. You need a password to be able to send a photo. They're just making up facts to fit their plot line.
A whole new world, and not one that we want to be part of. So no, it's not worth it, right?
No. Steph, what do you think? Are you gonna watch it?
Definitely not.
Steph is absolutely not gonna watch it.
I have no interest in this.
If she did not watch Blake Lively and Leighton Meester, no way.
No, I will go back and watch the OC again and check out Sandy. That's what I'm gonna do.
Whoa. That's how we've changed now? As adults, we watch it for Sandy?
Honestly, no, I'm still big fan of Seth. He's kind of a dick, but I still have a crush on him. But you go back and you watch it now and you see Sandy and Kirsten's relationship and he's such a good husband.
All right, okay. Let's move on to Reality Roundup, because I think we've talked about Gossip Girl a little too much now. Bloody hell, when it rains it pours. So there is a lot happening in reality TV at the moment. Possibly the biggest news of all. Bryce Ruthven and Melissa Rawson from this year's season of Married at First Sight, aka the most controversial couple of the series ever, possibly, have announced that they are engaged. Yay!
Who?
Is this the guy that was gaslighting her?
Yep. Not only that, guys, it doesn't stop there. They have other news. Oh, it's beautiful. They're also expecting not one, but 2 babies. Twins.
Whoa.
Good on him.
Twins. So
Whoa.
there'll be 4 of them. Yay.
But did she think she was being gaslit? Is that
no? Well, she was properly under his spell. So every time someone was like, "Look, man, this is not okay," she was like, "You don't know me. I don't know. I just
far
don't know where that came
out."
from." But yeah, so unsurprisingly, Bryce said that the proposal and pregnancy all happened very fast. Yeah, you bet your ass it did. Bryce told the publication he had originally planned on popping the question during a hot air balloon ride, but due to bad weather, he instead chose a helicopter tour. And it was not a surprise to Mel because she had helped him pick out the ring. And come on, you've helped pick out a ring and then you're meant to go hot air ballooning and then all of a sudden you're going in a helicopter. I think you know what's happening.
You went on a show where you were married to each other.
She says it's a day that she'll never forget. I'm sure that's true. Next up, we have Patrick Dwyer and Belinda Vickers, also from this year's season, broke up. So rumours began swirling when Patrick unfollowed Belinda and every single other person that he was following on Instagram. And Belinda later confirmed the news in her Instagram stories, writing, "We would like to address the current rumours of our split and can confirm we have gone our separate ways. We have enjoyed a relationship together for over 9 months. However, we do not want the same things in love and life. We appreciate all the love and support received through our journey." So I don't know if you guys know, Patrick also recently got like a $28,000 teeth transformation. You know how all the reality stars go to Dr. D at Vogue Dental Studios or whatever it's called. So he recently had that little glow up there. And I don't know. I'm not saying, yeah, that they're related, but I'm not saying they aren't. You know, he looks a lot better. Anyway, lastly, Beauty and the Geek kicked off on Sunday night, and there is one man in there who has so obviously had a make under so that when they have their makeovers, he'll look great. This was as far as I thought the scandal went, but it seems that George Goldfeeder is actually, I don't know if that's how you say his name, Goldfeeder, I don't know, Goldfeeder. He is actually an actor. So George is a professional Dungeons and Dragons player, according to his Beauty and the Geek bio. He has played lead roles in short films called Consequence and Painkiller. They were both shot in 2016, so it was a while ago. But interestingly, his Beauty and the Geek bio also reveals that he dreams of one day becoming an action movie star and is inspired by martial arts icons Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. And he did come onto the show with nunchucks. So
okay, so it sounds like a geek that just happens to act.
Could be. So fans took to social media and shared a range of reactions. "No, this makes me so sad. He was one of my fave geeks," wrote one viewer. "Oh, that is so cheeky of Channel 9 to do that," added another.
Oh, cheeky.
"It's so fake. They make them grow out their hair and beards," accused a third, who sounds a lot like what I said. Others weren't so concerned, like what you were saying, Salma. He did a couple of student films, but participates in regular Dungeons and Dragons podcasts, goes to Comic-Cons, etc. "Can he not be both a geek and someone who did student films?" asked one fan. "Yeah, but who cares? All reality shows are scripted/edited, and 99% of the population knows," argued another. Well,
quickly,
yeah.
Can I just point out, I'm pretty sure Vin Diesel is a huge D&D nerd as well. Vin Diesel's a very good actor.
Have picked that.
I mean, they don't necessarily, cancel each other out. You can be
both. It
both.
makes sense. In Dungeons and Dragons, you have to get into character. You have to immerse yourself into the world.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that.
Maybe I'm revealing something about myself.
Yeah. While I don't know if the acting thing is a reason for being on the show, he 1,000,000% had a make under, because I looked on his Instagram and I looked in his tagged photos and he does not look like that normally. And they've just given him some disgusting shirts, made him grow his beard a disgusting length, and his hair is blah. And there might be some sources who have suggested that he left a girlfriend on the outside, but I will not discuss further on that.
Oh, come on.
All right.
And apparently,
You gotta tell us more.
she was a beauty, so not on the show, just generally.
Oh, wow. I kind of find that this show is sort of weird. The premise of it bothers me.
Do you know what? They're actually super sweet, all of the people, like all the guys and the girls on the show so far.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I just think that the whole thing of like...
It is a bit weird.
The guys come on and they're all nerds, which means that they can't be attractive.
Yeah.
And the girls come on and they're all beautiful, which means that they can't be interesting.
Nerds. Yeah. I think that I don't really know what... I think... Well, the beauties are teaching the geeks how to be more confident, because a lot of them are very insecure and, they don't know how to speak to women and stuff. So it's all about them getting taught that by the women. And then I think the men teach the women how to not, just...
care so much?
I don't know. Like, my brain's not working right now. I wasn't expecting to say this stuff.
Sorry.
But, I think that they show them that you know, they're not
There's more
just their
depth.
looks. Yeah, they
Yes,
have a lot more to show. And like, you know, one of the geeks was like, "Oh, I'm obsessed with like they did a book week party, and one of the guys dressed up as Harry Potter, and she was like, "Oh my god, I love Harry Potter," and started talking about Harry Potter. And not that that's a geeky thing, but I think that was kind of like this beauty has more depth to her.
She likes Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And that's my whole personality.
No, I don't think it was like that.
I'm joking. I'm being a dick.
It was actually, it was like not that bad. I quite like Sophie Monk is so funny. And I didn't realize that she is marrying a quote unquote geek. He's like robotics neuro. She couldn't even say it. So I don't know why I'm trying to say it.
I am so excited for this show. I think I saw part of it once. I don't know what it is. I think I like the idea that, you know, I just love a geek.
I love a
identify as
makeover.
geek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love a geek too. I love Seth Cohen, like I said.
You said you love Sandy Cohen.
I love them both.
All right, that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Pop Fix, your weekly fix of pop culture news. Please subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you're listening right now. And if you could please leave us a 5-star rating and review, we would very much appreciate it. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We are at Pop Fix Podcast, and we'd love to have you in our Facebook group, which you can find if you search the same thing. Sama, where can we find you on Insta?
You can find me at _SamaRose_.
And Steph.
I'm at Stefanuzzo.
And you can find me at Marnie Dixit. We'll be back in a week. Chat to you then. Bye.
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 Do you feel